drama unfolds in closer look at the latest days of our lives episode. Hello, dear readers. If you're a fan of the long-running soap opera Days of Our Lives, you know that life in Salem is never short on surprises, heartaches, and high-stakes drama. As we approach the episode airing on Monday, July 28, 2025, the storylines are heating up with family feuds, sneaky business deals, and deep personal confessions. Today, let's dive into the details of what's coming up, breaking it down step by step, so it's easy to follow. We'll explore the tension between Julie and Gwen over a precious family heirloom, the ambitious plot between Tony and Gabby to shake up the DiMera empire, and Marlena's emotional moment with her dear friend Kayla. Buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride full of twists that will keep you on the edge of your seat. The necklace saga. Julie's triumphant yet bitter victory. Picture this. A priceless necklace, passed down through generations, symbolizing love, loss, and family legacy. In Salem, such treasures often become the center of epic battles, and this one is no exception. Julie Williams, played by the wonderful Susan Seaforth Hayes, has been through so much lately. Remember, this necklace belonged to her beloved Grandma Alice, a true matriarch of the Horton family. It was stolen right from under her nose during a time of deep grief, specifically at her husband Doug's funeral last year. Imagine the heartache. Julie standing at the graveside, mourning her soulmate, only for a thief to slip into her home and snatch this irreplaceable item. The thief? None other than Doug Williams III, a newcomer who's been staying with Julie despite warnings from her family. Doug III, portrayed by Peyton Meyer, didn't steal it out of pure malice. He was desperate, owing money to some shady characters and needing quick cash. He confided in young Holly Jonas about his troubles, and with help from Leo Stark, he sold the necklace to pay off his debts. But fate has a way of circling back in Salem. The necklace ended up in the hands of Gwen Rizek, played by Emily O'Brien, who bought it fair and square, or so she thought. Gwen, ever the dramatic figure with her own history of resentments toward the Hortons, refused to hand it over when Julie demanded it back. She even flaunted it at a restaurant, rubbing salt in Julie's wounds. Julie, not one to back down, fought back with everything she had. She got a court order to reclaim her family's treasure, but Gwen reported it stolen, escalating the feud into a full-blown courtroom drama. Oh, the tension. Julie's family, including Chad and others, rallied around her, consulting lawyers like JJ to find a legal way to get it back, knowing Gwen's grip on it was as tight as her grudges. Now, in this upcoming episode, the drama reaches its peak. Perhaps to shield her eyes from the glare of victory, or just to look fabulously dramatic as she shades Gwen. But here's the twist that makes you wonder. Does two wrongs really make a right in a town like Salem? Julie might see herself as the hero here, reclaiming what's rightfully hers, but the path to getting it back was paved with deception. Will she explain her stance to Gwen, or will this spark an even bigger rivalry? For Julie, this isn't just about jewelry. It's about honoring her grandmother's memory and standing up for her family. As viewers over 65, many of us can relate to fighting for family heirlooms that hold decades of stories. It's heartfelt, isn't it? Power plays in the boardroom. Tony and Gabby's risky alliance shifting gears to the cutthroat world of business in Salem, where the DiMera family name means power, betrayal, and endless schemes. Tony DiMera, brought to life by Theo Penglis, is on a mission to reclaim DiMera Enterprises from the clutches of Titan, now controlled by the Kyriakis brothers, Xander and Philip. Tony's not one to sit idly by. He's plotting a takeover that's as clever as it is ruthless. Enter Gabby Hernandez, played by Sherry Jimenez, who's no stranger to ambition and intrigue. The two strike a deal that's straight out of a thriller novel. Gabby helps Tony seize control of DiMera, and in return, he hands her the reins to run the company. It's a win-win on the surface. Tony gets his family legacy back, and Gabby gets to be CEO, a position she's held before and craves. But oh, the complications. Gabby has to dig up dirt on Xander and Philip, sabotaging them from the inside. She's hesitant at first, especially since Xander has shown her kindness lately, like during her daughter Ari's kidnapping. Gabi's got newfound warm feelings for Xander, but ambition wins out. She agrees, even hiring Stephen Nichols, to handle her end of the bargain. Tony puts his plan into action with fiery determination, declaring they fight fire with arson. But let's not forget the losers in this game. Everyone else who stands in their way. Will Gabi's soft spot for Xander cause her to waver? And can Tony trust Gabi, known for her disloyalty when it suits her? This alliance is built on shaky ground, full of potential backstabs and dramatic reveals. It's the kind of corporate drama that reminds us how power can corrupt, even in a fictional town like Salem. For those of us who've seen our share of real-life business ups and downs, this storyline hits close to home. Ambition can be thrilling, but it often comes at a cost. Confessions of the heart. Marlena's cry for help finally. We turn to a more intimate, emotional thread. The inner turmoil of Dr. Marlena Evans, portrayed by the talented Deidre Hall. Marlena's been a pillar of strength in Salem for years, helping others as a psychiatrist, but now she's the one in need. In a shocking moment, she passes out in court. Can you imagine the gasps from everyone around her? Sarah Horton, Lindsay Godfrey, examines her and declares her physically fine, but mentally, that's a different story. It's a classic case of physician, heal thyself, as Marlena's stress and secrets weigh heavily on her soul. Knowing she can't go it alone, Marlena turns to her old friend Kayla Johnson, played by Mary Beth Evans, for support. Kayla's been through her own trials, including health scares and family dramas, making her the perfect confidant. Marlena opens up, confiding what's truly troubling her. Perhaps lingering effects from past traumas or current pressures that are too much to bear alone. Will Kayla provide the guidance Marlena needs to heal? Their friendship is one of Salem's enduring bonds, built on trust and shared history, and this moment promises tears, revelations, and maybe even a path to recovery. In Salem, confession truly is good for the soul, but it often uncovers more layers of mystery. This storyline touches on mental health, something many of us in our later years understand all too well. It's okay to seek help from friends, no matter how strong we appear. Wrapping up the Salem storm as the credits roll on this July 28th episode, we're left with a whirlwind of emotions. Julie's gloating triumph, Tony and Gabi's high-stakes gamble, and Marlena's vulnerable confession. Days of Our Lives continues to deliver the drama we've loved for decades, blending family loyalty, ruthless ambition, and heartfelt connections. What will happen next? Will Julie's victory last? Or will Gwen strike back? Can Tony and Gabi pull off their coup without betrayal? And will Marlena find peace with Kayla's help? Tune in to find out, and remember, in Salem, nothing stays buried for long. Stay tuned, friends. There's always more excitement around the corner. Next, a heartfelt farewell in Salem. Doug 3 and Julie's emotional goodbye in the quiet, tree-lined streets of Salem, where secrets linger behind every door and history binds families in ways both tender and tumultuous. A moment unfolded that left hearts heavy and eyes misty. On a seemingly ordinary Friday, Doug 3, portrayed with raw vulnerability by Peyton Meyer, stood at the threshold of Julie Williams' home, a place he had not been welcome in for months. The air was thick with unspoken regrets, and the weight of their fractured bond hung between them like a storm cloud ready to break. What transpired was a scene so poignant, so rich with emotion, that it reminded us why the stories of Salem resonate so deeply with those of us who have followed its families for decades. For those of us in our golden years, who have watched love, loss, and redemption play out in this fictional town, this moment was more than just a plot point. It was a mirror to our own lives, where time and mistakes sometimes pull us apart from those we care about, only for a single gesture to mend what seemed irreparably broken. Let's take a step back and unpack this moment, exploring the depth of Doug 3 and Julie's relationship, the significance of the necklace, and the bittersweet promise of a future that may or may not come to pass. A fractured bond. Julie Williams, played with grace and fire by the legendary Susan Seaforth Hayes, has always been a pillar of strength in Salem. Her life has been a tapestry of love stories, heartaches, and fierce loyalty to her family. But her relationship with Doug III, her grandson, has been anything but smooth. For months, their interactions were marked by distance and distrust. Julie's hostility toward Doug III was no secret, and who could blame her? Doug III, a young man with a knack for trouble, had strayed far from the path his family hoped he would follow. His reckless choices, including stealing a cherished necklace from Julie years ago, had driven a wedge between them. The necklace wasn't just a piece of jewelry. It was a symbol of her late husband, Doug, a man whose memory she holds dear. To have it taken by her own grandson was a betrayal that cut deep. For those of us who've lived long enough to see family ties tested, Julie's pain is relatable. There's a unique kind of hurt when someone you love, someone you've watched grow from a child, makes choices that feel like a rejection of everything you've tried to teach them. Julie's coldness toward Doug III wasn't cruelty. It was self-preservation, a way to shield her heart from further disappointment. Yet, beneath her stern exterior, there was always a flicker of hope that Doug III could find his way back to the person she knew he could be. The unexpected visit on that fateful Friday, Doug III appeared at Julie's door, his face a mixture of determination and vulnerability. He wasn't there to argue or make excuses. He was there to say goodbye. Doug III was leaving Salem, a decision driven by the mounting pressures of his mistakes, including debts to dangerous loan sharks who were closing in. But before he left, he had one mission: to return the necklace he had stolen from Julie all those years ago. Getting the necklace back wasn't easy. Doug III had to resort to his old tricks, sneaking into Gwen's room at the Salem Inn and cracking her safe to retrieve the precious item. It was a risky move, one that could have landed him in even hotter water, but it was also a testament to his desire to make things right. For those of us who've seen loved ones struggle with their demons, this act carries weight. It's not just about returning a stolen object. It's about acknowledging the pain caused and taking a step toward redemption, even if it comes at a cost. When Doug III handed the necklace to Julie, the moment was electric. Susan Seaforth Hayes brought Julie's complex emotions to life with a performance that was both restrained and heart-wrenching. You could see the shock in Julie's eyes, the way her hands trembled as she took the necklace, its familiar weight a bridge to memories of her beloved Doug. For a moment, words failed her, and in that silence, we felt the weight of their shared history. A moment of healing. What happened next was the kind of scene that stays with you long after the credits roll. Julie, her defenses softened by Doug III's gesture, invited him into her home, a small but significant act of trust. In a tender moment, she allowed him to help her put the necklace on, a gesture that felt like a reclamation of their bond. The necklace, once a symbol of betrayal, became a bridge between them, a tangible reminder that forgiveness is possible, even after so much pain. Julie didn't stop there. In a move that spoke to her enduring love for her grandson, she gave Doug III something of her late husband's to take with him, a keepsake to remind him of who he comes from and who he could become. For those of us who've passed down heirlooms to younger generations, this moment hits home. It's not just about giving an object. It's about passing on a piece of your heart, a piece of your story, in the hope that it will guide someone you love toward a better path. But Julie's generosity didn't end with sentimental gestures. In a display of her fierce maternal instinct, she pressed Doug III to contact her as soon as he left town and to tell her how much he owed the loan sharks. "I'll help you get the money to pay them off," she said, her voice firm but filled with love. It was a promise born not of naivety but of faith in Doug III's potential. She made him vow to turn his life around, to break free from the cycle of bad choices that had defined him for too long. And, in a moment that felt like a beacon of hope, she told him to come back to Salem once he had, because she believed he had so much more to offer. The performances that stole our hearts. Peyton Meyer and Susan Seaforth Hayes delivered performances that were nothing short of masterful. Meyer's Doug III was a study in contrasts, defiant yet vulnerable, reckless yet remorseful. He captured the essence of a young man at a crossroads, torn between the weight of his past and the possibility of a better future. Hayes, a veteran of the screen, brought Julie's complexity to life with every glance and word. Her portrayal was a reminder of why she's a beloved figure in Salem, her strength tempered by a warmth that makes her relatable to those of us who've lived through decades of life's ups and downs. For those of us who've watched soap operas for years, these scenes are a reminder of why we keep coming back. It's not just the drama or the twists. It's the human moments, the ones that reflect our own struggles and triumphs. The chemistry between Meyer and Hayes was palpable, and it left us wishing their characters had reconciled sooner. Their scenes together were a masterclass in acting, a reminder that even in a world of heightened drama, the quiet moments of connection are what resonate most. A bittersweet farewell as Doug 3 promised to check in with Julie regularly. He stepped out of her home and into an uncertain future. The door closed behind him, and with it, a chapter of their story seemed to close as well. For those of us who've said goodbye to loved ones, whether they're leaving for a new town or a new chapter of life, this moment was achingly familiar. There's a particular kind of sorrow in watching someone you love walk away, knowing you may not see them again for a long time, if ever. But there's also hope in that farewell. Doug 3's promise to stay in touch and Julie's belief in his potential left us with a sense that this isn't the end of their story. It's a moment that reminds us that love, even when tested, can endure. For those of us in our later years who've seen family members come and go, this scene is a poignant reminder that redemption is always possible, and that the bonds of family can withstand even the greatest challenges. The burning question, will Doug 3 return? As the dust settles on this emotional goodbye, one question lingers. Is this the last we'll see of Doug 3? His departure feels final, yet there's a spark of possibility in Julie's words and in the promise he made to turn his life around. In the world of Salem, where characters often return after years away, it's hard to believe this is truly the end for Doug 3. The writers have left the door open for a redemption arc, a chance for him to come back as a changed man, ready to live up to the potential Julie sees in him. For those of us who've followed Salem stories for decades, we know that no goodbye is ever truly final. Characters have a way of resurfacing, often when we least expect it, bringing with them new stories and new challenges. Will Doug 3 return after a character reset, as some fans are calling it? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. Peyton Meyer's portrayal of Doug 3 has left an indelible mark on Salem, and we'd welcome the chance to see him back, proving that Julie's faith in him was well placed. A moment to reflect this scene between Doug 3 and Julie is more than just a moment in a soap opera. It's a reminder of the power of forgiveness, the strength of family, and the hope that even the most wayward soul can find their way back home. For those of us who've lived long enough to see our own families weather storms, this story resonates deeply. It's a testament to the idea that love can endure, even when trust has been broken, and that a single act of courage, like returning a stolen necklace, can change everything. As we wipe away a tear and look forward to the next chapter in Salem's saga, we carry with us the memory of this moment. It's a reminder to hold our loved ones close, to believe in their potential, and to never give up on the possibility of a brighter tomorrow. Whether Doug 3 returns or not, his farewell to Julie will linger in our hearts, a beacon of hope in a world that's often too quick to judge and too slow to forgive.